Here's where I get myself into trouble. This is partly our fault. Okay. Here's where I get myself into trouble. This is partly our fault. Okay. Has everything to do with the way we talk about our own profession. We have set ourselves up as the heroes of the story, which, look, in a way we are, right? I mean, our job is to advocate for human beings. I always say job one in this profession is to care about human beings. That's a noble thing. It's a good thing. It's a powerful thing. It's a necessary thing. However, it goes back to, again, the beginning of this conversation. You can't be anti everything else. It doesn't work. The game that you are playing is played by rules that are not dictated by you, by us. When you go to work for a corporation, you're outnumbered in any number of ways. Okay. Number one, I say this all the time and people look at me kind of sideways. Users don't pay your salary. A business does.
Point.
Okay. Users didn't decide to hire you. That business did. And the reason that they hired you, the reason they're giving you a paycheck every 2 weeks is to serve their interests. If you believe anything else, you're deluding yourself. Now, before anybody gets the idea that this is cynicism, it is not. It's an acknowledgement of reality. In order to transcend the limitations of what are around you, in order to get past constraints, in order to get past short-term business gain thinking, you have to be able to speak to those things. You have to be able to speak a language that people outside your profession look at you and go, okay, you get it. As a consultant, those are the 3 words I want to hear most. When a client says to me, you get it. That's what I want, because now I'm in a position to influence. What that means, all those 3 words mean, is that you understand their world. And that's because I'm almost never talking about UX or UX best practices or product design best practices or any of that stuff. I'm trying to figure out, what do they want? From product managers to developers to managers and executives, all the way up the chain. What do they want? Business first, users second. That's my thing. Because if what I'm proposing that does in fact benefit users and customers, if it's not in line, if there isn't some component of that gets that person what they want, or at least says to them, we heard you too, okay? We're absolutely advocating for customers, users, but I listened to you. I understand what you're after. I know what you need to accomplish. I know what you're on the hook for. I know what your quarterly bonus is dependent on, whatever the hell it is. I'm going to make sure that we attack that stuff as well. If they hear that, they relax. The trust factor goes up when they feel like I'm advocating for their interests as well. Otherwise, it comes across as, well, no, we're doing this for users. Like, you're wrong about this. And no, that's not what's needed. It's this. Look, like it, don't like it, I don't care. You're not going to get anywhere. That's an uphill battle that you are never going to end. People say that to me all the time, well, I'll die on that hill. Yeah, you will. You will.
You will.
So at the end of the day, it goes back to what we were talking about before. You have to make a decision. If you truly want to do good things for good people, you have got to acknowledge this part of the game. And it has to be part of what you do. So the stuff that comes out of your mouth can't just be promoting good UX and good product design and good research and good, writing and everything else. It's got to be, I understand what you're after, Mr. Mrs. Product Manager or VP of product or whoever. I get it. I'm with you. Your problems are my problems. Your goals are my goals. Along the way, we're also going to do these things, which I believe will serve your goals. Okay. I relentlessly advocate for users and customers, but I frame it in a way that those people understand why it's happening, that they're willing to keep that budget open, that they're willing to spend more money to make it happen. I learned this over time. Okay. 30 years on, there is no other way. And I learned it the hard way, mind you. I don't sit here saying all this because I'm omnipotent and I know everything. I say it because I've had my nose broken dozens of times. Yeah, and finally you wise up and go, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
So
I hear you.
that's the reason.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's what we.
I will share a quick story. I was a UX team of one. I was the first UX hire, bunch of engineers, security analyst company kind of thing. And they're like, yeah, what do you do? And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me put this nice presentation together, tell you all about UX and all the magic and all the good stuff. And I'll even talk about how I'll save development hours and how my research can inform your direction and save you time for rework. Sounded great. Oh, it looked great. I loved it. And I shit you not, right after, it was just a small group of a dozen or so people. Right after, one of the head of the team of the engineers was like, yeah, so what do you do? It completely fell flat.
Yep.
I literally had just given a 45-minute presentation on what I do. And the first question is, so what do you do?
And there you go. It's a perfect example. Perfect example. Okay. Many years ago, I started saying that anything I do for a client, right, when I'm working with a client's team, I want engineers and developers in the room at all times. At all times. Okay. Not just design, not just UX, not just all times. And people are like, well, why? I'll tell you, I mean, it was after a lot of that, essentially. Okay. So this was probably 15 years ago, at least, if not longer, because what I discovered was this. If we're in a room and we're working on a whiteboard, which is my only tool to this day, if we're iterating, right, we're working through workflows and then we're jumping between workflows and, okay, maybe that manifests on the screen like this based on what the research we have so far, and testing tells us that we need this, and this. So we're iterating, right? Quick workflow, draw it out, interface, maybe sequence can work like this. What I want is I want an engineer sitting in that room for two reasons. Number one, so that they're an active participant in the process, right? So that they're making decisions and we're leveraging their expertise as well. And that they can sort of get a sense of what the hell we're doing here, that we're not off working in a vacuum, doing some esoteric thing. Number two, that person is usually sitting there prototyping really roughly, like with modules, with code, with platform, whatever. And they're saying, we draw someone and say, what do you think? He's like, well, I've been sitting here for the last 5 minutes. I did a rough prototype and here's what I think. We don't have anything that works like this, but we have this module that works like this. And I'll turn it around and show it to me. I think we can customize this, and this. What do you think? How far does that get us? And I'm like, absolutely, do it. That's 75% of what we wanted. But I'm going to take that 75% and go right now because I know otherwise we're going to spend the next 6 weeks screwing around with it and it's going to go nowhere. So we just eliminated 6 weeks of work in a span of 15 minutes. They understand that. They appreciate that. And they're going to carry it forward, and their managers are going to understand it and appreciate it. And the VPs are going to understand it and appreciate it. Okay. So now people understand what UX is. To do this, what's worth doing in the first place? What gets us to, here's what the people on the receiving end need from us, and here's what we need internally to pull it off. Weeks of research. If you're not going to get it, you got to do something else, right? And I think, again, the longer there are silos, the more the problem you just described exists. People don't understand what you do because they're not present for it. And what they think it is and what it really is are two completely different things. And when they finally see what it really is, they're like, oh, I had no idea that's what you do.
Yeah. Like you just show up and here's the deliverable.
Yeah.